Hello everyone, my name is Avinash and welcome to my channel. In this video, let's talk about the Linux operating system and how it works. So let's get started. Alright, over the course of this video, let's look at the history of Linux and then jump into why Linux might be a better option over Windows. Then look at downloading Windows for multiple platforms. Then I'm going to show you a basic overview of Linux home directory. Then let's conclude with some basic Linux commands. Let's get started. All right, history, a quick history lesson. In 1960s, there was this open source operating system called Unix, which was pretty famous back in the day. And in 1970s, there was one more operating system called Minix, which was based out of Unix, but it was not completely open source. It was licensed. And then 1980s, Microsoft came up with their own operating system called Windows. It became pretty popular for personal use back in the day. And in 1990s, Linus Torvalds came up with this iconic operating system called Linux. So it was made completely free and open source. All right, why Linux over Windows? Let's look at why Linux might be a better option compared to Windows. Open source. What is open source? In simple terms, anyone can see and contribute to their features, to their code, so that other users of that operating system will be beneficial. Next, security. So compared to other operating systems, especially Windows, Linux has a very strong permission system and it has very few viruses. Cloud native support. If we look at all the public cloud platforms like AWS, Azure, Oracle, etc., most of those platforms, not most, all of those platforms natively support Linux. Customization. We can change almost everything in Linux. Cost. There is no cost, it's completely free, there is no license at all. And the best feature of Linux or Windows is it can support multiple users. Multiple users can seamlessly operate this operating system without any problem. Let's go to the next slide. All right, now let's look at how to download Linux in 3 different ways for you to practice. Number 1, you can download Linux as an operating system. Number 2, as a virtual machine. Number 3, via a public cloud platform like AWS. Let's look at the first option now, which is via the operating system. So as you can see my screen, this is the official Linux documentation, linux.org/pages/download. So this has a bunch of Linux distributions. You can download any of these to get started. I would recommend Ubuntu because it is completely reliable and widely used across the globe, right? You can just click here and install the operating system. And the second option, if you don't want to replace your existing Windows or Mac OS with Linux, I totally understand because it can be overwhelming in the beginning. So that's why we can use Ubuntu as an add-on to our Windows OS, right? All you have to do is download Ubuntu and WSL based on your architecture, and you can use Linux via a terminal, just like this one right here. This one right here. And going back, just a second. Where is my browser? There you go. And the last option, the accessing Linux via a public cloud platform. If you don't want the complexity of downloading Linux locally using the first two options, if you're okay with paying a minimal cloud bill, you can go ahead and open a virtual machine through any cloud providers. And this is AWS, and they have a service called EC2. Let it load. So this is their platform to launch virtual machines, and from here we can launch a Linux-based virtual machine, that is Ubuntu. Let me give a sample name. Just one. Let me choose Ubuntu. As of now, let's keep everything default. So don't worry if you're new to AWS. These things might be a bit overwhelming for you. Let's learn more about AWS in the future videos. Alright, now that I've selected all the configuration, let me go ahead and launch the instance. Let me go to instances. Alright, now that the instance is successfully running, I'll click on connect again, and it will launch a terminal in the browser. Right now, as you can see, we have successfully launched a server, pwd, that will show me the present work directory. Perfect. So this is how we can download or use Linux using three different options. Let's move on. Now I'm going to give you a basic overview of Linux home directory. For that, let me go to my terminal. If I click on pwd, it will show my uh, present working directory. Right now we are in /home/Avinash folder. For you to show the home directory, I have to go here. All right, this is the home directory. So you can compare this with the C drive in Microsoft Windows. You know how important the files in a C drive are. Similarly, over here in Linux, the files and folders present in the home directory are similarly important. So yeah, these are some pretty famous folders in Linux world: bin, lib, lib32, sbin, sre, root. All right, so this is a basic overview. I can go through each of these folders, but it's going to take a lot of time, and if you're a beginner, this can be a bit overwhelming. So let me move on to our next one, and let's come back some other time. Right now, let's conclude this video learning some basic commands. All right, some basic Linux commands. So the basic commands are, so these are the commands you will be using on a daily basis: ls, cd, cp, mv, rm, mkdir, rmdir, cat and touch. Right, I'm going to tell you what they mean, but first let me go to my terminal. So it's a good practice not to create any files and folders in this home directory. So let's move to my dedicated workspace or a folder. So my folder is located in home directory. So let me cd home Avinash cd. Perfect. So this is my existing folder. All right, perfect. Let's execute some commands. So the first command I told you about is ls, right? So let's go through the commands again. Let's quickly go through ls, cd, cp, mv, rm, mkdir, rmdir, cat and touch, right? All right, ls. Since I already typed it here, ls means list. Uh, it basically lists all the files and folders in that existing folder or a directory. So cd basically takes you inside a folder and gets you back. So you see how I did cd Avinash. So this is where I entered this folder, and if I have to go back, I simply do cd space dot dot. I came back, right? See, now if I have to enter this folder, which is Avinash, boom. All right, it's that simple. Now let's do cp. What is cp? Cp simply means copy. If you want to copy, if you have a file, let's choose this one, accenture.txt. If I want to copy the contents of this file and make a duplicate file, this is how we do it. cp uh, perfect. You see the command? It's cp accenture.txt space google.txt. Now if you ls, you will see google.txt. That means the contents which were in accenture.txt will be in google.txt. Perfect. So now let's learn another command, which is mv. So mv basically renames the file, right? So google.txt. So this command changes. If I click enter now, this is going to change google.txt to yahoo.txt. Enter ls. There you go. Now you don't see google.txt. All you see is yahoo.txt. All right, perfect. Okay, we are done with mv. We are left with rm, mkdir, rmdir, cat and touch. Perfect. Rm basically removes a file. It's like it deletes a file, right? Rm, let's choose a file. Let's click on yahoo.txt. See, right now in this folder, in this updated folder, you don't see yahoo.txt. Next, mkdir. Mkdir simply creates a folder. Mkdir, that means make directory. Let me come up with a name. Okay, let me choose Canada. mkdir Canada. You click ls. You see, it created a directory or folder called Canada. Now, in the same way, let me do rmdir. What does it do? Yeah, you might have guessed it right. It deletes that file. There you go. Now you don't see Canada. Cat. Uh, cat basically is used to read contents of a file. If you click enter, it is going to read all the files present in it is going to read all the text present in accenture.txt. Enter. You see how big of a text this is. cat accenture.txt. I just executed it. It is going to print all of this, okay? And the last command, touch. Touch creates a file. Uh, touch USA. I click ls, it is going to create a file called USA. So I hope we we got a basic understanding of. I hope you guys got a basic understanding of all these commands: lscd, lscd, cp, mv, rm, mkdir, rmdir, cat, and touch. ls lists the file, cd changes the directory forward and backward, cp copies the file content from one to another, or it makes a duplicate. mv is used to rename a file, rm deletes a file, mkdir creates a folder, rmdir removes a folder, cat is used to list the contents of a file or display some text of a file, and touch is used to create a file, right? So I hope this session was productive, and yeah, please stay tuned in. I'm going to make more videos in the future, and cheers, take care.